It is always great chatting with my next guest, KB Bhullar, who's back in action in the main event of Unified MMA 43, March 4th, live on UFC Fight Pass. He's going to be taking on Strahinja Gavrilovic. KB, how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. It's going good. Happy to be here.
Yes, it's good to talk to you as well. I know this fight has kind of been in the works for a while. Were you happy to finally get it booked? Because obviously he's a guy who's, has a lot of experience and fought a decent amount of opponents.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fun fight on paper, man, and I'm happy it's finally happening.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. Now, I spoke to him ahead of this fight, and he had mentioned that you guys had trained together briefly years ago when he was in Alberta. What do you remember about that, if all?
Yeah, Strahinja trained with us over at Hayabusa. I mean, I don't like to speak about like things that happen like in training and whatnot, but
For sure.
yeah, he came and trained with us, and it was cool. Like, we were younger, and like it was just a different time. Like, I can't extrapolate like what happened then and say like what
it wouldn't
then.
even matter now anyways. You guys are completely different. I mean, we were talking 10 years ago. I mean, you've been to the UFC. I mean, there's so many things that you both have done since then. So yeah, it was just more of like, do you remember that? But obviously you do. So that's good, because I believe it or not, I do interview fighters. Sometimes they're like, I don't remember training with him, because there's a lot of fighters that get around when it comes to training at different gyms, right? So
no, I remember him. I mean, like, he's a good fighter. He's tough. Like, I remember in sparring, like, Strahinja would always like be game to spar anybody, and tough dude. Like, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, and I actually saw one of his fights live. I was at that fight when he fought Marc-Andre Barrios in TKO, one of the fights of the night there. So I'm sure, just seeing the style matchup here, it's got to get you a bit excited, because, he's a guy that's going to put on a show.
Yeah, he brings it. Yeah, he brings it for sure.
Although, seeing your last fight, I know you don't like getting paid by the hour. That was a nice quick win over Brant Dewsbury. Brant's a really good opponent, too. That was a really solid win, Unified 42. Just how satisfying was that victory, especially what happened the fight before, coming back to Unified and getting a quick win like that?
You know what? Big ups to Brant. Like, he stepped up on a week's notice when Strahinja was supposed to be fighting that fight, and then they needed to find somebody else, and Brant stepped up. So, like, I was thankful to be able to fight, and I'm just happy that I got to be able to fight that night. It was a wicked win. Super excited about it. Like, just to be able to get like a finish like that again was very satisfying. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure a little nice confidence boost heading into this fight too, just getting a finish like that, I'm sure as well. I know you're always confident in your abilities, but to see it come to fruition in a fight like that with the circumstances must have been pretty satisfying.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
So let's talk about Strahinja. Style-wise, how are you looking at this fight? Again, we're probably expecting a brawl here. At least he's going to try and expect it to make it a fight like that. How do you look at this fight from a style perspective?
Like, in his interview with you, he was going on and saying that, like, I'm not a warrior and whatnot, and he's the real Babar or whatever, and we're gonna trade bows, or I don't know what he's saying, but to that, like, dude, I was the one that's actually been fighting for the last 5 years. You haven't. You fought one guy. You came off, you had a nice win. You fought one dude in the last 4 years, and now you're coming up and you're fighting me. So this fight was supposed to happen back in December, but it didn't because you pulled out. So it's hopefully happening now. And once again, he asked for the weight class to be changed like last week. So to me, what does that say about him? Like, fight was supposed to happen at 185. Now it's up at 195. I agreed to it. I said, I don't care. I'm going to fight. So say what you want about who's the real warrior, but I'm the one that's actually been fighting. So in the end, like, people can make of what they want with the style matchup is, but I'm just going in there to win. Submission, knockout, whatever it is, I'm going in to win.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt you there. I was going to bring that up because, I did speak to him. He said some things that obviously weren't very, very pleasant. But is that him, do you think, just trying to pump himself up by saying that? Or do you think he really believes that? What did you make of his comments? I know it was a short clip, but what did you make of that?
Well, from what I can understand, like, that is what I made of it. like, that's what I can say, you know? I'm the one that's actually been fighting.
Okay. Fair enough.
You know?
Fair enough. Camp, I assume, is going well. I did talk to your teammate Tanner Bozer recently. He's got a fight book finally, which is great to see. Anything different for this camp, or is it just business as usual as far as training partners, structure, all that stuff?
Well, yeah, like same thing as usual. My training partners are the same. I'm used to having, you know, that big fuck swing bombs at my head all the time. So training partners are great. Getting lots of work with Tanner, Chris Larson, Graham Park, Sterling Machete. I hope we can get Teddy back in the gym soon. That'd be great. He's always great to have. But all the Shade Bears guys, and then my coach, Kedro Noda at Frank Lee's. So working with him. It's been great. Same as always.
That's good. And I imagine no issues with the COVID regulations or anything like that, because I know in different provinces it's different, but it seems like everything's been open for you guys.
Everything is open, which is really nice.
Great. Yeah, and it makes such a huge difference not having to worry about, you know, cops banging on the door or whatever, right? Like you can finally just focus on the fight, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Super nice. You just can focus on the fight. You don't got to worry about anything else. So that's always good.
So you mentioned it there, a change in weight. So what will this be contested at for people who might not know?
It's happening at 195 now, I guess.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was going to be at 185, and then I don't know what he said. He said he just asked for a weight change last week. He tried to pull a Paulo Costa and asked for the weight change like 2 weeks before the fight. So I said, fuck it, whatever then, fine.
Would you say this fight is personal now, just with him changing the weight and some of the comments he's made? Like, how are you approaching him as an opponent?
No, it's never personal. Like, it's not personal at all. It's like, it's business for me. But, like, I just understand that this is just the way he is.
Yeah.
Like, as a person. So, that comes with it. Like I said, we were supposed to fight in December. So, I was ready for that. And now we're fighting now, so it goes down next week. So let's just show up. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it.
Who's going to be in the cage with you that night as far as your cornerman?
It'll be 3 of the 4. It'll either be my coach Kedro, Jeff Montemurro, Danny Czar, who I work a lot on my boxing with, and or Tanner, if one of the others can't make it.
Okay, that's good to have some options. How do you envision the fight playing out on March 4th?
I think that flying gogoplata. That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to pull a surprise finish.
I love it. That's a little bit off the wall there. I like that. That's great. And, you know, again, we've got this fight coming up next week. What are some of the goals you have this year? I'm sure keep active. Nice thing about Unified, they're putting on shows regularly. On UFC Fight Pass, you're getting that exposure. What does the rest of 2022 look for you after this fight?
Honestly, when I look at fights like this close, when they're this close away, I don't see a day past that day. I just think about that day.
Okay.
So right now, that's all that's on my mind is next week. Yeah, just that day.
No, tunnel vision. I get it. I mean, you got the, you know, you got to stay focused on everything, which is understandable. What about you know, downtime? What's that looking like? Watching any TV? What are you doing when you're not training? I know you read a bit as well. What have you been up to?
James, literally all I've done this camp is train.
Okay.
Like, I'm just solely focused on training, just dedicated to that. I haven't had a lot of time to do anything else. Like, if I'm winding down at night, like, I've tried to like cut out watching late night TV and whatnot just to like get better sleep. So just eat, sleep, train, repeat, man.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of downtime this time.
How many hours of sleep do you need? Everyone's different that way.
Me personally, I need like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
or else I'm just like, I'm like
I'm the same way, man. I feel like we might have talked about this in another interview, but I definitely like I need my 8 hours. If I don't, and I got 2 kids, so it's very challenging. I got a newborn, so it's it can have its own challenges, but that's where naps come in and stuff. And like I said, I'm not even in the gym like you are, trying to compete for a fight. So I can only imagine what it's like when you don't get enough
oh,
sleep, right?
dude, I couldn't imagine telling my wife that I need 8 to 10 and you look after the newborn.
Yeah, it's a negotiation for sure. But I mean, I'm sure you find, you probably do nap a bit in between sessions, or how do you sort of navigate through that when you don't get the 8 hours?
I just stay up all day, and then when night comes, I'm done.
Okay. That makes sense. One thing I talked to, one other thing I just wanted to ask you before we wrap things up here. When I spoke to Tanner, one of the things I've kind of noticed on social media is there's a lot of negativity towards you, and I'm not sure why. And I feel like, I think the last interview we did, just a lot of people are sort of, I don't know why, singling you out specifically. How do you deal with that? I know Tanner's great at dealing with people on social media. I was kind of giving him a compliment about, some of the stuff, like if he can find a good opening and make a good comeback, he'll do it. How do you deal with negativity?
I guess that it comes with once you start competing on a larger stage, your performances get magnified, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like when I had my UFC tenure, what happened was that I didn't perform as good, and so people's immediate gut reaction to that is to say whatever the heck they want to say, and then that, like when you look at that, those performances get a shitload more viewership than other ones. And so I don't think that it's a good reflection on who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But you just can't get too tied up on like other people's opinions of you initially. Like I know that what I've done since then proves otherwise. And given the opportunity again, I can make a better showing for myself. But in terms of like being like having my own perception of myself altered by other people's opinions, it just doesn't fucking matter, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about what you think of yourself. Like, so it's cliche, but you can't put too much into what other people think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And also, people you respect, like your teammates, those are the ones who are going to give you, real criticism, real, tangible feedback, as opposed to, some guy who probably bet on you in a fight and is holding it against you. You know what I mean? Like people are weird like that. That's kind of what I've noticed too, is that, I just see people make these dumb comments and it's like, where's this coming from? Like, I don't go and like see a stranger on the street and just start saying things to them. It's crazy to me. So I guess it's sort of the world we're in. But
there's a lot of experts online.
yes.
There's a lot of experts, the guys that should be, they should be coaching at like ATT and
Tanner's cousin, right? Remember, he has the keys to beat Cyril Gahn. Remember?
Yeah, that guy. They need to find that guy.
Yeah,
they need to find that guy and get him running camps for like some of the best in the world. But I mean, like you said, like there's just people out there that exist like that, and then given a cell phone and social media, people can say whatever they want, and they can hide behind their stupid like locked accounts with like a SpongeBob
like an egg,
avatar and say whatever they want. So there's no accountability for people's opinions in the end.
Absolutely. This is going to be a great card. It's coming up here March 4th, Unified MMA 43. KB, always good talking to you, man. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
I just want to say that I'm ready to fight next week. Let's go. I hope Strahinja shows up and we can throw down.